This is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we're going to take a close look at the Cabli from good folks at Singular Sound. Basically, the Cabli is a 7-inch by 1.68-inch cylinder with an internal assembly inside of it that has kind of like a spool with a two-sided mid plate that it lines things up so that half your cable runs on each side of it. It has a handy handle that folds up close to the Cabli itself. It's got kind of an indentation, and that allows you to stack these so it doesn't really stick up. But when the handle is out, that's what you're going to use to spool in or out your cable. On the other side of this assembly, you'll find an elastic strap that you can slide your hand underneath and then grip the whole assembly, and that allows you to wind or unwind the cables in here. It is made out of ABS plastic, which is, for those of you that aren't chemists, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. It is a thermoplastic of sorts. It has very resistant characteristics to impact and chemicals. Most of you that have ever played with Legos, it's the same kind of plastic that Legos are made out of. Because of that, the Cabli is very lightweight, even though it is very strong. Comes in around 10 ounces. It's designed to hold about 30 feet of braided cable or 20 feet of rubber cable. And the area where you feed in the cable, it's got a detangler. This T-assembly is made kind of as it separates to help detangle cables, and it also has a pinch protector that is attached to that plate that's in the middle that is designed to help keep you from getting too acute of an angle on your cables, damaging the wiring that's inside of them. Let me demonstrate how to use the Cabli. The first thing I did was I got my cable and I've kind of measured off so that the two parts are equal. Did that by holding the 2/4-inch instrument sides. Now I have the middle of the cable. The next part, and once you get this done, everything's a lot quicker, but what you do is through the port here, you want to push the cable in and kind of nudge it into that little catch that will hold the cable, and make sure that you've got it through the detangler. That way, now when I get a hold of this, if I coil it up like that, I now have the entirety of my cable inside of the Cabli. If I want to have a little bit of it out, I can simply pull as much as I need, and again, when I'm done, coil it up. I think in the best case scenario, you want to set this up with your cables and then kind of leave them alone. You don't have to take them out and put them in constantly. This just has it all preset and has you all ready to go. Okay, so there you have the details. This is a very clever device to help you stay organized. If you have to coil up your cables in a hurry, like you're leaving the stage, you're playing with multiple groups and you want to do that. It's also great to help you avoid a tangle of cables. If you're putting them in a bag, you've got lots of cables. It's a great way to do that. It will also allow you to give yourself a little less cable in a setting. So if you're at home and you don't want to have, 20 feet of cable all coiled around your feet, you can coil it partially, have some cable in, have some cable out, kind of keep things tidy. And this is especially great if you have multiple cables and you can kind of stack these in the bag that Singular Sound has so that you can have spools in the bag. And it's a great way to stay organized. A couple of cautionary things that you need to have in mind with this. Number one, it fits most cables. If you're playing on a pro level heavy gauge, you might find it may not fit very well here, or if you can get it to fit, if you kind of push it and squeeze it in, then it's not going to be able to coil in entirely. That's just the nature of space. It can only fit so much. So that's one thing to have in mind. But for more of your normal size cables, they will work with this just fine. The other thing that I want to mention, when you're putting your cables into the Cabli, you want to make sure that you're putting it in from the top and not squeezing your finger in on the sides. The edges on these are a little on the sharp side, and inadvertently you might kind of cut yourself up a little bit. I know that I did because I was trying to wiggle my finger inside of there. But other than that, once you've got it all set up, you should be good to go and really shouldn't have to mess with it all that much. If you want to know more about the Cabli and any of the other products at Singular Sound, simply go to singularsound.com. This has been Raul for Bass Musician Magazine.